We can go ahead and start with questions for Jordan. If there are any out there, we have microphones on each side. If you can hail one down. Over on the right.
Well, Jordan, another Bohannon making a big shot in the Kohl Center. What's going through your mind right after that shot goes in?
Well, I was a little upset at myself for airballing that wide open shot to begin with, so I didn't know if I wanted to shoot another shot after that, but I just try to keep my composure. That was kind of our identity this entire game. We got down. They're such a great basketball team. They made a run on us, but like I said, we kept our composure and we got after it on that press, and Ahmad had a huge steal. We were able to get the win tonight.
On the right again. Go ahead.
Well, Jordan, I guess is it extra special getting hit in a game winner here?
Yeah, definitely. I can't tell you how many times I've been here. A lot of weekend nights or week nights, traveling here, seeing my brothers play. So this game kind of meant more to me. Especially I was overlooked in the recruiting process. A lot of people doubted me, but Coach McCaffery was one of the ones that believed in my abilities. So this is another game that I want to prove myself to everyone out there that I can do this at the Big Ten level. So I just tried to keep my composure the entire game, and I was fortunate enough to make that shot. And Cordell had a huge rebound and great court awareness to find me, and I was able to hit the shot.
Down in front.
Jordan, when you left the floor, it seemed like you went over to your family. What did Zach say anything to you? What did you say to Zach? What was that moment?
I said, "Go Hawks." But yeah, like I said earlier to a bunch of reporters earlier in the week, I was pretty much a Badgers fan my entire life growing up. Luckily enough, I was able to find my dream school here at Iowa. But like I said, I pretty much just said, "Go Hawks," and we were pretty much a Wisconsin family growing up, and this game meant a lot to me for us to get it tonight.
Anything else for Jordan? If not, we can go ahead with questions for Coach McCaffery. Over on the right.
Hey, Fran. How would you describe your defensive intensity? It seemed like it was one of your best performances of the year.
Well, it was for most of the game. It certainly was down the stretch. We had an 8 consecutive stop sequence in the first half, a 6 consecutive stop streak late in the game. That one stretch, they got away from us a little bit. They went up 7. But, I thought we were pretty connected defensively, which you have to be to play this team. They've got so many different weapons, and they run the swing, and then they run some things out of it, and they get the ball to people where they want it, and you just got to really do the best job you can, and then, go get it. This is a team that typically is +8 on the glass, and we were +10 tonight, so that's something that makes us very proud.
On the right.
Fran, Jordan mentioned that press there late, especially after how things had kind of gotten away a little bit. What does it say about these kids that they could get back into that mode and get those turnovers when they really needed to?
Well, there were a number of possessions where we really created the kind of defensive intensity that you need. But a lot of times, one guy breaks down and they get it in easy. And they had to take 2 timeouts, and then we had turnover and 2 turnovers. And I thought even when we weren't scoring sometimes right away, or we weren't scoring sometimes down the stretch when we got good shots, again, we keep saying the word composure, but we kept moving the ball, we kept getting good shots, and we executed well on the out-of-bounds plays. And that's all you can do. You ask your guys to battle and to kind of be in the right place and be together, and that's what they were. And right up until, we got a good shot, offensive rebound, kick out to, one of the best shooters in the country.
Tammy on the right.
Coach, you've gotten great contributions from your younger players, particularly in the last 2 games. Jordan has just been spectacular. Can you talk about his contributions as this season has gone down and just how special it is for him to win in this arena in particular?
Well, I can only imagine what it's like, for him and for his family. from my perspective, I just started watching a kid when he was in 8th grade, 7th grade, and just fell in love with his game. And he consistently makes the kind of plays that you saw him make tonight, because he just never rattles. He's constantly making those kinds of tough plays that you want him to make. And you're right, it doesn't always happen for young players. Sometimes it takes time. But I've seen him do this now for 5 years up until this year. And so what he's doing is not a surprise to me at all. He did it. We had a scrimmage game that we're not allowed to talk about, but he did it in that game, and he's been doing it ever since. I'm just going to be more proud of him.
On the left.
Down to your left. Obviously, Jock struggled to find his shot tonight. What did you think about the performance you got out of guys like Cordell Pemsel and Nicholas Bear?
Well, I thought they were both spectacular. Nicholas, he was really something in the first half. Hitting a shot at the end of the half, that's always a big momentum play. But he just does so many things. And I think Cordell, he's figuring it out. He's trying to, when to post, how to post. He's trying to screen his teammate open, gets an offensive foul in a key situation. But he's learning from what he's doing well and what he's not doing well. And he just keeps getting better. And, he's got a really bright future.
Over on the right.
Fran, it seemed like it was a little harder to find open looks in mid-second half. Did they make an adjustment defensively?
I thought we had good looks. We missed. Pete had some good looks. Jordan had a couple good looks that they normally make. But, you just got to run back and defend this team. We never let them, like you said, it started to get away from us a little bit, but it never got more than 3 possessions. I've been here where, they get on one of those runs and you look up and you're down 17. But, the most we were ever down was 7. There was still 3 minutes to go. Plenty of time. Get a stop and a score. Get into the press. See what happens. You get a steal and a score. Okay, well now, you don't have to do anything crazy at the other end. You don't have to start fouling too soon. But again, the way we stayed together was critical.
On the right.
What does this team have that maybe some of your previous teams haven't in terms of closing the season? It seems like this team's coming on at the end.
I think we have more shooters. Those teams were really good. We were big and strong. We were deep. We had a lot of guys that could play. But I think this team's got, a few more weapons from three-point range, which I think is obviously always helpful.
We have time for one more for Coach.
With a team like Wisconsin that's always like to play kind of this methodical offensive game and play late in the shot clock, how does the full court press change that, or even the half court press to an extent?
Well, they're a rhythm team, and they got cooking in the beginning of the second half. They were, it was one timeout. My assistant said they're shooting like 62%. So we went to the 3-2 zone, and that worked a little bit, but they're eventually going to solve. If you change, they're going to solve it, and you got to change again. So we went to the zone, then we went to the press, back to man, and then we went to the press, and we kept doubling, just to try to keep them out of rhythm, because if you let them get in rhythm, they're typically going to carve you up. So I think it helped us there.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.